Children dream of becoming a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. But what are the chances both women and men will have equal opportunities in the field? On a campus where science and engineering is in the university title, the history of engineers, women engineers especially, are just surfacing. Girls Coming to Tech, A History of American Women's Engineering Education, chronicles the history of women engineers at the college level and the entrance of women into the engineering field. The work is an in-university job by Amy Bix, Associate Professor in the Department of History at Iowa State University.
I did some research right here at Iowa State. I also worked at Caltech and Georgia Tech and MIT and Rensselaer Polytechnic in Minnesota and Texas, whole bunch of schools, because it really is a national story.
She could find some information on women in science or medicine.
But when it came to the history of women in engineering, I really literally couldn't find anything much for my students to read. So the first time that happened, I said, oh well, we'll work around it. The second time it happened, I said, gee, somebody should really write a book about this. And then the third time it happened, I said, okay, I'm going to write the book.
So why the struggle finding information on women engineers? Bix says this is because of the types of opportunities and job locations.
A lot of engineers in the 1700s and 1800s got their start literally on the job. You learned to be an engineer by going to work on the Erie Canal or in a railroad shop, but women aren't really going to be accepted in either one of those places.
The same went for military positions and school acceptance. The key to integration in engineering at Iowa State?
Since the 60s and 70s, you've had the creation of all sorts of support programs for women in engineering.
The WISE program, Women in Science and Engineering, in which Nicole Kittleson is a mentor. Fast forwarding to the present, Kittleson says that she still experiences a "you can't" attitude from some.
I think sometimes society sees women as kind of, that's not that they're like smart enough to be in these fields, or I don't know, people have looked at me like, why are you here? I don't know, I had a woman at a career fair look me up and down and go, if you want to look pretty every day, this job is not for you. So, I don't know, I think it's kind of just a stereotype that people have on women.
Bix also says there are problems getting women involved in engineering.
Once women got to college, they needed support, but they realized that it was almost too late, that if women ruled themselves out of engineering and science early on, they might not take the required math courses in high school, and then they'd have trouble catching up.
She says engineering programs now reach out to different community groups, getting girls ready for their college engineering studies. Kittleson works to help these girls, both at the college and grade school level.
In my classes, there's very little girls in each class. I know some of my girls for peer mentoring say that they're one of all men in their classes. So I'm not exactly sure why that is, but I think it's growing.
Working as a mentor for the WISE program, Kittleson spends time with her mentees talking about career opportunities and upcoming WISE events. Kittleson says by having the support groups such as WISE and SWEET, participants can get to know one another at the WISE office located at 218 Carver. This office and its staff host a variety of events throughout the year, including educational programs, workshops, and trips abroad. And as for reading about these advancements in the field,
you can find Amy Bix's book here in Parks Library, as well as other books about women in engineering.
Whether you're visiting the Carver Hall WISE office, the Parks Library stacks a short walk to campus to find out about a growing history of women in engineering.
With photographer Kate Tyndall, I'm Michelle Schoening for ISU TV.